Hello everybody, Randy Stifer here with ConservPhoto.com with part 5 of my post-processing workflow series. Today we're going to be talking about brightness, contrast, blur, and sharpening. And with that, we'll pretty much be done with Photoshop and we'll be moving on to Lightroom. So let's get right into it. I've got the image we've been working on open right here. And let's go to the body. I always like to start with the body when I'm doing brightness and contrast. And that's going to be under Image, Adjustments, Brightness, Contrast, right at the top. And like I said, if you get your curves right, probably shouldn't have to do much with this. I like to go up a little, down a little, just give it a try. I think just a little on the brightness on the body is going to be good. It's like 15 works for me. And then same thing with the contrast. What I usually like to do is go up to 30 and then down minus 30 and see which one looks better. So there's 33 and there's minus 30. Okay, I'm actually digging minus, but I don't want quite that much, so 15 looks good. Okay, so we're going to hit OK, and that applies that. And now the beak. Adjustments, brightness, and we are on cancel the mask. Always be sure to be on your photograph. Image, adjustment, brightness. Now we're looking at the beak, and okay, we're looking at the beak, and we want it to stand out, but we don't want to take that color out of it, so looks like just a slight amount of brightness is going to work. And then try more contrast and less contrast. Again, I think I like it with a little less. So we're going to say OK. And now we're going to do the legs. Adjustment, brightness, contrast. We try brightness. I doubt that's going to be the right choice. Try less. Yeah, we got these pretty much right on. Maybe a little less. There we go. And try more contrast, which is probably not the right thing. Yeah, a little less. There we go. Okay, now we got the legs done. The eye I'm not going to mess with because there's just no detail in it. Sand. Adjustment, brightness, contrast. There you go. We'll lighten that sand up just a little. Less contrast, definitely less contrast. We don't want the sand to pop because then it'll take attention away from the bird. And we'll say OK. Now water mid, which is going to form the majority of our background when we finish this image. Brightness, contrast. And again, a little less brightness on the background I think works great. More contrast, less contrast. For the water, I think a little extra contrast works. Okay, now we do the water top, but like I said, I'm going to cut most of that out. More brightness. Oh, that pops too much. A little brightness and a little less contrast. There we go. Okay, now we've done brightness and contrast. Now it's time for blur. And the question is there anything in this photo we want to blur? And I think the water top, if we were going to keep it, would be the most likely thing. So you go to Filter, Blur. My preferred one is Gaussian blur, but feel free to experiment with the other ones. Now, as you can see, last thing I blurred the crap out of. So we don't want to blur it that much. We just want a slight blur. So let's go down to 1.5 pixels. And that just makes that a little less focused up there. Okay. Now we can try it on the sand too. Might make it look pretty good. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Try a little more, a little less. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. We'll add a little blur into the sand. It creates this illusion of that we have less depth of field than we actually had in the photograph. Now we've hammered through brightness and contrast and blur. Now one last thing, the body, and we're going to sharpen the body. Sharpen, it's under Filter, Sharpen, Unsharp Mask. Now I want to give you a warning about sharpening. Sharpening is a great way to destroy your photo too. It will cause noise to multiply and it will cause sharpening artifacts if you take it too far. Now that being said, good sharpening is going to make your photograph really pop, really be dramatic. So you've got to strike a balance between too much and too little. So with that in mind, I always like to zoom out a little bit here so I can see what I'm looking at. Now the nice thing about the preview is that even though you're masked off on the bird, it's going to show you how it sharpens everything. So when you're going to sharpen more than one panel, you can move it around and check the other panels that you plan on sharpening too, because I like to apply the same amount of sharpening to everything I'm going to sharpen. And this one, go down to 150. See, this is just a case of give it a try. Let's look at that beak. And the legs are important too. Okay, 164 looks like a little much. 128. Okay, I think I like that. I think that's going to do. And I usually leave it at 2.5 and 1. I'll play with these sliders when I'm not getting good results, but most of the time that's my preferred places to leave them. Okay, let's hit OK. And now we sharpen the bird. Now here's a time-saving tip, and here's why I sharpen them all the same amount, besides it looks cohesive. Now I'm going to sharpen the beak and the legs as well. Just come up to Filter, click Unsharp Mask, which is now at the top, and it will apply the previous settings, you having to do anything else. Same thing, legs, filter, and sharp mask, and there we go, it applied the previous settings. So there we go, we are now done with Photoshop. Today we've done image adjustment, brightness and contrast. We've done filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and sharpen and sharp mask. Now we're going to save it, and we're going to go File, Save As, and it pops up my photography window because that's where I always save everything in. Finish PSDs, and then I put this in the menagerie. That's just what I like to call it, where all my animals go. And for me, this is going to wind up under shorebirds. See, do I already have anything in here named what this is? Yes, Marble Godwit. So this is going to be Marble Godwit Forging 3. So we are going to save that, and that will conclude our video for today. Next time I'll be showing you how to import into Lightroom, and then the final adjustments I make on a photo in Lightroom, and we will be all done with the series. So until then, have a great day, get out there and enjoy some nature.